rocking around the Christmas tree. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da. Hey y'all. Hey there, hey friends. It's been a little while. Happy to be back, happy to have you back with me. As you can see, it is a little bit of a snowstorm behind me. The house is decked out for Christmas, and I thought it would be the perfect time to discuss divesting from Amazon. I'm Kaylin May. It's great to see you again. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. Please join our little family, subscribe. If you have been around with me for a little while, say hi. I've missed you all. I've been gone for a little bit and I miss you. So feel free to leave a comment. I'll be definitely hanging out in those later. But enjoy the video, and I hope that you can get something interesting from this. In this holiday season, right when we're all about to try and get presents for friends, and I know in the bookish community, oftentimes those presents are in the form of literature, books. Amazon's a conversation because Amazon touches so many parts of our experience as readers, as reviewers, as booktubers and bloggers, as people who consume books and are part of the book ecosystem, the publishing ecosystem. So first, let's talk a little bit about Amazon. What is so bad about Amazon? It's, I understand why people use it. I use it, it's convenient, it's fast, it's cheap usually. It has so many options. You can always find what you're looking for. There are a lot of things about the consumer experience that feel really easy and helpful about Amazon. And I actually have no judgment for people who do use it, especially right now during the global pandemic we're in, where you can't be leaving your house and going to the store and ordering things to your doorstep. Is just like the most safe and efficient way to do that. But as with a lot of things, when it comes with so much convenience to you, oftentimes that means that it's messing with someone else. That if it's convenient for you, that convenience comes at a price, and that price is more than just whatever $100 you pay for the Amazon Prime membership. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that price, about why Amazon is not ideal. So the first is that Amazon is bad for its workers. In the corporate structure, they probably pay pretty well. I think I've heard that they have pretty good parental leave, but when you think about the nuts and bolts of getting all these packages across the world, you've got the warehouse workers, the delivery workers. All of these people are exploited with not living wages. The only way for Jeff Bezos to get as rich as he is to exploit the people who are doing the most of the labor. So not only does Amazon exploit its workers, but it also is fighting them from unionizing. So USPS is unionized, other delivery servers or services are unionized, but Amazon has been fighting unionizing its workers. So I'm gonna pop some links in the description so you can find out more about that. But not only is it bad for its workers, it's also bad for the environment. Greenpeace has been sounding the alarm that it has not been adhering to its pledges around green energy. It uses fossil fuels. How do you think all these packages are getting anywhere? Speaking of packages, the packaging. Also, I think any mega retail store is sort of buying into consumerism. Obviously that's its business model, and therefore producing cheap goods, wasteful things that people don't need in the name of selling them. So not great for the environment. Again, more articles posted below for that. Also not great for immigrants. Amazon actually works with the Department of Homeland Security to, the direct quote is, track and apprehend immigrants. And again, I am posting more information about that in the box below. But depending on where you fall on the spectrum of opinions on immigration, I'm pretty left-wing about that, and Amazon does not align with my values when it comes to that. They also may be violating antitrust laws. They have just edged out competitors and monopolized many industries. They're bad for small businesses. If you can get something cheaper and faster on Amazon, people are more likely to do that. I don't know if people are more likely to do that, but that's a business model that seems successful, and brick and mortars are suffering because of it. And while I can't necessarily be super upset that Sears and JCPenney are going under potentially because of Amazon, it is a little bit more upsetting when it's your small bookshop around the corner. You know, there are ways that investing in community, which is something that Amazon does not do, is something that small businesses often do, and we're losing that. We're losing that important part of our economy to this mega retail giant. Speaking about it being mega, it actually, according to Forbes, accounts for 49% of all online retail activity, all e-commerce in the USA, 49%. Holy smokes. And the last thing that I'm going to bring up is that they are taking taxpayer subsidies to build their big HQs in cities when they don't need it. They're worth trillions of dollars. Why do they need taxpayer subsidies? Those taxpayer subsidies could go to other companies. So, moral of the story, Amazon sucks. Amazon's the worst. But what now? What do we do now? So I'm gonna break down for you, piece by piece. Amazon touches so many parts of, or intersects with so many parts of reading, audiobooks with Audible, Kindle has all the ebooks. Amazon.com started as a book selling website and has a huge amount of pretty inexpensive retail prices for books that you can order and receive fairly quickly. Also, it bought Goodreads a while back, and so it now has all this data and monopolizes a reviewing service and a book finding service. There are ways that Amazon, if you are a bookish person, you are almost guaranteed to come in contact with Amazon. Let's start with, okay, I want to buy a physical book. Where do I get it? Where do I get the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin? How can I get that quickly? Well, I've got some options for you. The first one that comes to mind, if you want to get it but you don't necessarily want to pay for it, is your local library. You want a physical book? Right now, I know I'm in Connecticut, the libraries are open for appointment, or you can call in and place holds, and then you'll do like a curbside pickup. And then in non-pandemic times, one of my great loves is going to libraries and checking out books. I remember as a kid getting stacks and stacks and stacks of them, and just spending hours perusing the options, talking to friendly librarians. They're important, incredible parts of this book ecosystem, and we've got to support and love on our local libraries. But if you want to own this book, I get it. You want to own it. So where can you go? If you want to pay for it and you want an experience of supporting a small business, is go to your local bookstores. Booksellers are the backbone of this ecosystem. These are the places where you can find people really invested in community, investing in connecting people to books they'll really love, to maybe local authors or smaller authors, debut authors, who will help you figure out what gift to get your cousin for Christmas. These are the people. And a lot of bookstores right now are either doing mail services where you can order online from their website. Nina, you can't eat that, that's a Christmas tree. Or you can do curbside pickup, or I imagine in certain parts of the world, depending on how locked down you are, you might even be able to go into small bookstores and browse and talk to your local booksellers. Small bookstores need our support right now. Small businesses are getting hit so hard by COVID and the economic fallout because of that. And these are the treasures that we have to protect. So go find a small local bookstore. But if that is confusing, or your bookstore doesn't have a website, or if you don't know where to start, I'm going to recommend bookshop.org. And that is a new website that has come out, I think, in about the last year. And it is trying to be, not the new Amazon, but sort of stick it to Amazon, to be Amazon for books with a conscience, with morals, with a moral code. So their mission is not only to sell books to customers, but to financially support local independent bookstores. And they do this in a variety of ways. So you can, as a local bookstore, get a page on Bookshop so that when people are buying from Bookshop, they're buying from your bookstore. And so if you have a favorite bookstore like I love Romans in Pasadena, and so I often go straight to that. Or Page One in Albuquerque is a bookshop I love, or Trident in Boston. These are bookshops that I love, and I can then go on bookshop.org, find their page, and order from them. Also, through their affiliate program, for all of you booktubers, if you're an affiliate, when you get that 10% commission, they match that and they give 10% to a fund that is evenly distributed across local bookstores that are working with them. Additionally, they have figured out how to give about 75% of their profits to local bookstores. This is part of their ethos. They're a B corporation. They're trying to do good. They're not only trying, it's the double bottom line, trying to help others while they have some amount of financial success. Additionally, in their receipts that they email to customers, they also let you know what local bookstores are around you. So it's always about connecting to local, and I love that. I love that so much. So I'm really excited. I actually have an affiliate link for Bookshop, but I'm also going to put their FAQ page and just their main page. They have an incredible array of books. Are they always as cheap as Amazon? No. But would I rather pay a little bit more for a company that wants to be a part of the ecosystem and give back to the ecosystem than one that just takes and takes and takes and exploits its workers along the way? Yes. So right now I think they're only available in the US, and I think they just unrolled their UK. I'm sure they're going to continue to expand, but I have been so excited to see this happen. So that is bookshop.org. These are my recommendations for how to get a physical book without shopping at Amazon. What about an ebook? As many of you might know, e-readers are huge, but you can also get them on apps on your other devices, on your phone, on your computer, and people often use either a Kindle e-reader or Kindle apps. So what are we gonna do? My recommendation is to get a Kobo. And this is my Kobo. I got it a few months back and I love it. It connects to Overdrive, which is a way to connect to libraries. So often, I would say 90% of my ebooks on this are just from the library. I check them out, it goes straight to my Kobo, I can read them, I love them. They also have a bookstore where they have pretty standard pricing for ebooks. I'd say it's fairly competitive and with a pretty large selection. They also connect with Pocket, so something I love to do because I get migraines sometimes staring at a screen for too long, is if I'm reading a longer article, let's say from BuzzFeed News or The Atlantic or Wall Street Journal, or I'm reading a longer in-depth piece of journalism, is I'll just save it to my Pocket, which is an app, and it'll show up on my Kobo, and then I'll just read it off of my Kobo. So I use my Kobo for reading quite a bit, and I really enjoy it. You can highlight, you can make notes, you can change the brightness and the text color or text size. It is pretty user-friendly. The customer service is great. You can usually get someone, a real live human on the other line when anything goes wrong. I was having a weird situation with being able to open books I downloaded from the library when I first started using it, and they were able to very quickly identify what setting I hadn't changed or something weird I had done and help me get reading right away. So I've really appreciated them. Additionally, I believe they have a Kobo app you can use on other things. They also are open to a wide variety of document types. So it can be PDFs, it can be EPUBs, it can be all sorts of different document types for e-reading, whereas Kindle only supports its Kindle document type. I don't know if that makes sense. Another way to read books that are on maybe your iPad or your iPhone would be through the Overdrive or Libby app, which I'm also going to talk about when we talk about audiobooks. So all in all, I love this. I love this Kobo. I use it to death. It holds a charge for so long. It shows you the beautiful, so we had the 5th season, finished that. Now I'm on to the Obelisk Gate. It shows you the cover. I don't know. I'm kind of obsessed with it. So Kobo, done. My dog wants to come hang out with us. So the next question is, we've got our physical books, we've got our ebooks, what about our audiobooks? So I had Audible for a couple of years and my subscription was around $14.99 a month. For all new audiobooks, I've started using a service on my phone called Libby. And so Libby connects to your local library using Overdrive. So the same way that I get my library books on my Kindle, on my Kobo, I can get them on my app on my phone, and I can both use the app to read ebooks and use the app to listen to audiobooks. So that has been a great change for me. That is the thing that I use because it's free with my library card, and I'm not sure if that is an international option, but it is certainly one in the United States. The other option is Libro.fm. That is an app where you can do the monthly subscription, the membership, which is around, I think, $14.99 a month as well. So I think they're similar prices for Audible and for Libro FM. But what I love about it is you also can do what they call a la carte listening, which I don't believe you can do if you're on Audible. So that is if I just really want to listen to, if I just really want to listen to Michelle Obama's Becoming, but I don't want to get it on Audible and pay a whole subscription, and I know I'm probably not going to be listening to any other audiobooks, I can just a la carte purchase just Michelle Obama's Becoming and listen to that on Libro FM. So they also have a fairly wide selection of books, and they are fairly reasonable in their audio book listening. I think that like if you have specific books you're looking for and you're looking for them on demand, I would recommend Libro FM. If you are looking for books and you're a little more open to what you could get, or you don't mind waiting for the books that you really want to listen to, I would recommend Libby. You have to place a hold sometimes, and the wait times for like brand new books are quite extensive. Take that with a grain of salt. It is a library, but I like listening oftentimes to books that have been published for a few years, and those books are oftentimes either a shorter amount of time to wait, like 2 weeks to 4 weeks, or are readily available to listen immediately. So depending on your preference and your needs, I would recommend one of those services. Last but certainly not least, what are we going to do about finding new books, watching for ratings on books, figuring out what books to read, who likes what, if not for Goodreads? So I actually made a whole video about this where I reviewed the Story Graph and the Book Sloth. And I am here to report back months later on what I'm actually using, which is the Story Graph. They are in beta, which means that they're constantly updating, something that Goodreads has not done in what feels like forever. They also are owned by a Black woman, which is super cool. So not only is it a woman-owned business, but it's a Black-owned business. They have a lot of different little winks and little features that I think set them apart. You can do half stars and quarter stars, which I really appreciate. So many of my books I feel like fall in this like 3.5 range that I read, where I liked them, but I don't want to give them quite a 4-star, and I never know on Goodreads whether I should round up or round down. So that's a great option. They also have content warnings. So if you have any particular triggers, if you're worried about reading a book that has sexual assault, for example, you can filter that out. They also are working to be something that is much more about finding books to read, especially even on your own shelves, rather than rating books. So the ratings aren't as prevalent in the visual of the Story Graph, which is interesting. I do miss the sense of community on Goodreads. I feel like I don't really understand how to interact with other people. I don't really understand how to see what they're reading and have them see what I'm reading in the same way. There's no like news feed to it, but I don't think it's really meant as a social media, which is refreshing in another way. The only other thing that I wish, I haven't been on for a little bit, so who knows if they're doing it, but I love tracking the progress of my books on Goodreads as I'm reading them. So saying like, oh, I'm 200 pages out of this 400-page book, and they say, you are 50%, oopsies. Here we go. You are 50% done with your book. I love that. I am the type of person where that is motivating to me. So I kind of wish that Story Graph still has that, but one of my biggest problems with the Story Graph is it didn't have an app. Well, now it does. You have to sort of create it as like a bookmarked page, but it behaves exactly like an app on your phone. And so that has solved that problem for me. Also, I didn't actually even know that you could use it for graphs, which is hysterical because it's in the name, the story graph. And so one of the major things that I like about it, I didn't even highlight in that video, which is that you can go and you can see what your reading patterns are, what percentage of books you read that are slow-paced or medium-paced or fast-paced, what genres, what moods you tend to gravitate towards. You can actually categorize your reading in a lot of different ways, which I really like. All in all, I'm pretty happy with that service, and I've been transitioning over the course of this year, and I'm hopeful that I can primarily use StoryGraph next year, starting in 2021 instead of Goodreads. Also, in terms of Booksloth, I just haven't really used it. It was something that was gorgeous and had great options, but I just never adopted. So StoryGraph was the one that went out for me, and if you want more information about it, check out that video. Cool. I think that's everything, y'all. That's everything in my notebook about this. But essentially, I just wanted to say, I get it. I still buy things off of Amazon. I'll probably still even buy certain books off of Amazon sometimes, even though I'll try not to. Money is tight right now. It's COVID. Convenience is super helpful. It's, you know, COVID. So I understand. I have a lot of compassion for all of us who are trying to live our lives in accordance with our values, and I know that that's a process, not necessarily an end destination. But hopefully this video gave you some options if you're looking to buy a subscription for someone for Christmas, maybe a Libro.fm or a StoryGraph subscription. If you're looking to buy someone a really nice little present, if you're a reader in your life, I would recommend the Kobo. This is the Kobo H2O, so it's water resistant also, which is rad if you read in the bathtub, like sometimes I do with a glass of wine. And then if you're just looking for a way to send someone books, bookshop.org, friends. So I hope you all are well. I hope you all are hanging in there. The snow is coming down a little less hard, but it's starting to stick, which is exciting. So I might take a little winter wonderland walk, and I will see you in the next video. Happy holidays, especially during this dark time. I hope you all are finding ways to enjoy the change of seasons, and I will see you soon. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate to like, to subscribe, to hit the notification bell. I took a little bit of a hiatus, but I've got some fun content coming up, so I hope to see you there.